Tonight's Xfinity TV High School Football Game of the Week postgame show is brought to you by the Pittsburgh Sports Report, Pittsburgh's premier sports publication. Visit them on the web at pittsburghsportsreport.com. Oh, what a joyous night here in West Mifflin. Look at the excitement on the sideline. Those Titans come back and win this ball game by a final score of 47-42. They advance to the quarterfinal round of the WPIL playoffs next week. Chris Shovelin, Ellis Cannon, Steeler quarterback Charlie Batch were all here at the press box in West Mifflin. Guys, what a game we saw here tonight. Charlie, your impression after your first telecast here on Xfinity?
It was an exciting game to watch. Great first game to be part of when you see back and forth the way that both the line of scrimmage was dominated. Got to give credit to West Mifflin's defense. I know people are going to talk about the running backs in this situation, but West Mifflin's defense having to make a play at the end of the ball game to seal the victory.
Okay, I'm going to talk about the running backs. You did the right thing. Okay, I'm going to do the politically incorrect thing. I got two running backs that combined for 664 yards and 10 touchdowns. I thought I was joking when I said my over-under was 750. I've seen this guy have a play-by-touchdown chart that you could fit on a index card. Look at this thing. He had to tape him.
Look how big this
Look at
paper
that
is.
thing.
I was running out of paper, too.
You taped it.
I did.
It's amazing. It was astonishing football, and it was a game that looked like was tilting toward Moon.
Yeah.
In the second half. I'll be anxious to talk to some guys later to find out how they kept it together.
So, Charlie, did you think they were going to run the ball this much tonight?
Yes, I did. We talked about it earlier in the broadcast where you wouldn't see much passing, and that's what eventually happened because Moon had to make a play in the passing game, wasn't able to do it no matter how everything unfolded with the running game. It was just a great game to be part of.
Well, we're all kidding about it, but we knew we were going to see a lot of running tonight. And our Pittsburgh Sports Report player of the game is a guy who ran wild here tonight. Let's take a look at some of the plays that he ran tonight. This, of course, number 5 in the blue and gold for West Mifflin, the Titans, Jimmy Wheeler. 29 carries, 359 yards, 6 touchdowns. There's another one of them right there. Here comes another one. It was that kind of night for number 5. Jimmy Wheeler, and we have him on the sideline with us here, our Pittsburgh Sports Report player of the game. Jimmy, we knew you were going to get the ball tonight. You came through, and your team really had a dashing win, and it's a great way to bounce back from the loss to TJ last week to move on to the quarterfinal round of the WPIL.
Yes, it was. It really was. We knew that we ain't played so good last week, and we knew that this is a tough team, and we had to come out and come hard.
Jimmy, Charlie Batch here. I know last week was a tough week for you, but talk about your offensive line and how they were able to help open up those holes for you tonight.
My offensive line did a great job opening holes a train can run through. I just busted through them and got them. They did a great job.
Well, James, let me just say for the record that you had 29 carries for 359 yards and 6 touchdowns, so I personally have no idea why you're the player of the game. Okay. Second of all, I mean, talk a little bit about the beginning of this season. Your coach said you could have 2,200 again, but you had a new offensive line to Charlie's point. You had 13 last week. You did it again by going this high tonight. What's it feel like you personally, and I know you're a team guy, to fulfill those types of numbers back-to-back years?
It feels good. Like, I ain't really know what I was going to do. I'm stunned.
You look it.
It was good.
Hey, Jimmy, you had a phenomenal game. Congratulations on that. But one thing I want to ask you, how tough was it to stand there at the end of the game when you couldn't have the ball in your hand to have your defense have to go out there and make a play to seal the victory?
It was real tough. I'm over on the sideline biting my nose like, please, defense, let's go. Please, just stop for one time, please. Defense wins games. And, yes, defense won the game today.
Hey, James, one last thing. Charlie Batch says during the game that don't make a mistake about it. The stars are watching each other. Your numbers speak for themselves. Blake had 305. Were you keeping an eyeball on this guy?
Yeah, I was keeping an eye on him.
All right.
We had to find out. Jimmy Wheeler, congratulations. You're the player of the game, sponsored by the Pittsburgh Sports Report here tonight. Just a magnificent win. And good luck next week in the WPIL's quarterfinal round.
Thanks so much.
All right, you're very welcome. It's an honor to see you and a pleasure watching you play ball tonight. The defense did come up big at the end, and D'Angelo Mitchell was one of those guys who was really under the pressure because he was defending that left corner in that defense and batted a couple of balls down late in the game.
Yeah, we talk about ironies, and you're right, Charlie. Obviously, somebody had to make a stop, and that applied to Moon as well, and they couldn't. And they had the opportunity to put the game away with that two-score situation that they had. And during halftime, you heard Coach say, Coach Brazo, I'm worried about the time of possession. Well, time of possession ended up plus 11 minutes for Moon. It got away from them. The score was getting away from them, but ultimately, Coach was able to get these guys to keep it together, and I'll be anxious to talk to him about that.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. Let's talk to him right now. Ray Brazo is the head coach of the West Mifflin Titans. Ray, have you had a chance to catch your breath yet?
A little bit there. It's quite a ball game. It's a pretty good game to have on television. That team, obviously, we couldn't stop them, and they had a hard time stopping us. It was back and forth. I think some of those kickoffs we did kind of bounced our way. They really weren't called onside kicks, but, we're kind of pooching it down there to keep it away from their guys running, and a couple of times we got it, which really got us back in the game there at the end.
Coach, Charlie Batch here. I asked you at halftime what defensive adjustments were you going to make, and you said, I'm not really sure. But how proud of your defense, how proud of you are your defense for making those critical plays at the end of the ball game?
Yeah, you got to give them a lot of credit. I mean, they were really taking their licks there, and, we got on them at halftime that we had to tackle better anyway and just had to go after people and show guts, and I think that's what they did at the end. They just kept hanging on and, got two crucial stops, and that was big, especially the one where they went for it down there around the 20 or 30.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Coach, I want to talk a little bit about that. First of all, I'm glad you mentioned the defense with Charlie, but there were about 670 yards rushed between two guys with 10 touchdowns. Number one, have you ever been in a game quite like this? And number two, talk about the fact that this game started to get a little bit away from you in the second half. Time of possession ended up double digits in favor of Moon. The scoreboard was a two-score game. Talk about keeping the team focused, poised, and ready to come back.
Well, we sort of just kept plugging away, trying to make the calls. We had a couple of plays there. Our Connor and our Pyre were really working, and Jimmy would hit it and go. And I mean, that's basically the play we had because our tight end, our starting tight end got hurt, and we ended up moving a tackle over to tight end. So that kind of took a lot of the plays that we run away. So we were just hitting a couple plays, and that's what we stayed with. Did I see a game like this before? Not really. Not really.
I feel better now.
Especially in high school. I guess it compared a little to our last year when we played Central Valley, ended up 36-35. So that was a semi. So that was kind of sort of like that. So, if we just keep on plugging away, that's all you can do.
Coach, I know this is not the question, but really it's a compliment to you because last week it was a tough week against Thomas Jefferson, but you were able to have your team bounce back in a critical playoff game here today, and I just wanted to congratulate you on that.
Thanks, Charlie. I appreciate that. Coming from a hometown boy there.
Absolutely.
Take it from all
We're
of
here
us.
in Swan Valley tonight.
That's right.
Ray, congratulations on the victory. Best wishes the rest of the way.
All right, guys. Thank you very much.
All right, our pleasure. Thank you so much for having us here at West Mifflin tonight. Guys, we saw a great show, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
We did, and the numbers will be talked about. We've already talked about them, and I could go on as you could, but I just want to say, how about the rookie going politician there at the very end? I mean, Charlie, you thanked them. Congratulations. I thought you were doing analysis for football. You're running for office.
No, not at all. That's my man.
Yeah, I know.
Coach Brazo, love him to death.
Yeah,
I mean, he's done
great
a phenomenal
job tonight.
job.
What a great
here,
job.
So thanks for having us. It's been fun.
Yeah,
it has been a blast. Charlie Batch will join us in the next playoff game that we call here on Xfinity TV On Demand as well. For our entire crew, we want to thank you for tuning in. I'm Chris Shovlin, Ellis Cannon, Charlie Batch here in the booth. All of our folks from Viewpoint Production Services working this game in West Mifflin tonight, and what a game it was. We saw them run wild, didn't we? Both Cole Blake and, of course, Jimmy Wheeler, who ends up being our Pittsburgh Sports Report player of the game with his 359 yards and count them, 6 touchdowns here tonight. West Mifflin, they will remember the Titans after this one. 47-42, they win it here at home on Xfinity TV On Demand.